Welcome to a very exciting Photoshop tutorial. My name's Tudor and I'm going to be showing you guys how to create some really cool pictures to use online for such websites like Facebook, MySpace, and whatever else you may be using nowadays. So this is the finished project that I'll be showing you how to make, and let's get started. What shall we? Okay, so the first thing obviously you're going to want to do is open up a picture into Photoshop that you're going to be using to edit. I used this one and I already went ahead and cut out the background. So obviously the first thing after that you want to do is cut out the background of your picture, and maybe even play around with some of the settings under images and adjustments. Just simple things, kind of like giving yourself a curves adjustment to play around with the contrast, make your lights lighter and your darks darker. Simple things like that. So now the next thing that you want to do is you want to put in your background, your new background. So I found this picture right here which I thought was really interesting and I wanted to use for my background, and obviously you're just gonna drag this into here, and since it's kind of small, we're just gonna go into edit, free transform. Just make it so that it fills the entire screen, and then just apply the transformation, and voila. I'm going to just get rid of these old pieces. Okay, so now that we have our background, what we want to do, we want to go back to our original picture of ourselves, and just switch up the layers, put this on top of the other one. Okay, so now we have ourselves onto this new background. Next step that we want to take is kind of giving that dirty lens look, and the way I achieve that look is through this texture right here. We're just going to do the same and drag this into our picture, and yet again we're just going to have to go to edit, free transform, and just make this picture fill the screen, apply our transformation, and there we go. Now the first thing I did with this, I just had to make a couple adjustments. I wanted to play around with the curves a little bit and just give it a contrast curve, make the lights lighter, and even actually I wanted to make the entire picture a little bit lighter, so just give it a nice little curve like this. And then I wanted to spice things up a little bit. The grays are kind of boring, and I just used hue and saturation and gave this a little bit of a pink color. I used it around about 110 on the hue, just on the master channel. I didn't bother with the rest. This looks good enough. And we're just gonna lower the opacity to around 70 or so, and you're gonna just play around a little bit with the blending modes depending on what suits you better. I believe the one that I used was color dodge. Now after we have that, depending, you might want to kind of brings down the saturation of your actual self. As you can see, it's a little bit, it's a little saturated, so you can just go into under image adjustments, hue and saturation, and just play around with the saturation. Just bring it down a little bit. You want to kind of keep everything in perspective. You don't want to be too saturated yourself. The picture is a little cold, so with all the blues, like, you want to bring yourself down a little bit. Hit OK, and kind of the last finishing touch that I put onto this was I gave it a bit of a lens flare, and the way to do that, I just went and made a new layer, put it on top, and then I went to edit, fill, and you're just gonna fill it with a black, and hit OK. Once you do that, go under filter, render, and add in a lens flare. The one I prefer using is the 105mm prime. I find the other one's a little too generic looking. The 150 is not used as generically as the other ones, but you can play around with the brightness a little bit. I like it around 100% is okay for me. I just hit OK. And yet again, you're just going to want to play around with the blending modes. The one I found that worked best was Color Dodge. It gave a real nice bam to the picture. And maybe you just want to raise up the opacity of that smudge. It's not as prominent as I want it. Around, yeah, 80% looks good. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing else left to it. Hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's very simple to just kind of give your pictures a little more pizzazz. Alright, bye.